First of all, we need to remove the cover. Here there is a flap. Inside the flap there is a screw. Undo said screw. And the panel will drop down. Behind that is another 2 screws, and that is to take off the main combustion case. Lift up like so. The first thing we're going to do is fully drain the appliance, deflate and recharge the expansion vessel. On most appliances we would have an isolation valve on the flow and return. However, this boiler is in a caravan and it is at the highest point of the system, so we don't need to isolate it. First of all, we put a suitable hose onto the drain point. A condense pump hose would actually be better in this situation, however I don't currently have one on the van, so we're making do. Undo the drain point. You don't need a very long hose, the toilet is right next to the boiler. So remove the Schrader valve cap, use the back part of the cap to press in the Schrader valve and fully deflate the vessel. Right, so I'm going to use the Regan vessel jet, however a stirrup pump or any other pump would suffice. Different manufacturers have different pressure settings for the vessels, however we just base it all on 1 bar, so we would then set it to 1.1 bar, as when you take it off you will lose a bit of pressure. Replace the Schrader cap. And that is the boiler fully drained and the vessel recharged. Remove the hose, close the drain point, and now we will top up the pressure. So open one side of the filling loop, open the other, and then we'll watch the pressure rise to 1.5. And now we're going to start stripping the appliance down and cleaning out the heat exchanger. So first of all, undo the 2 sump screws, put them to one side. Remove the sump cover. Then with 2 hands, grab hold of the flue manifold, wiggle it up in the air until it releases from here. Bring it out, wiggle it down and put it to one side. Undo the lead from the electrode, undo the fan. This one can be a little bit tricky. For the next part we're going to remove the burner. I like to use a Weir Joker 8mm ratchet for this, and we have 2 small bolts at the front and 2 larger bolts at the back. All 4 of these will need to be removed. Right, so the bolts securing the burner have now been removed. So if we lift up the burner, tilt it towards you and turn it to the side, the burner will then come out. We fully inspect the gasket seal. This one is fine. You normally find on Ideal and MORCO appliances that these are very rarely deteriorated, to be honest. Then if you turn it over and check the burner plate. Now there should be a little bit of movement in this, but not excessive. Again, this one is absolutely fine. Using an Allen key, remove the electrodes. These ones aren't too bad, however we're going to clean them anyway, using either wire wool, or if they're particularly bad we would use a file. If they look overly worn, then obviously we would be replacing them. For the next part we're going to wash through the heat exchanger. Before we do, we need to replace the sump cover. So now we're going to wash through the heat exchanger with a pressure washer. You should see any debris coming down through the sump. This heat exchanger isn't particularly dirty, to be honest, it's just a routine annual service. The debris that's washed down from the heat exchanger through the sump will end up in the trap, which is why we leave the trap clean until near the end. Remove the condense trap hose, twist the trap, lift the trap up in the air, get your left hand underneath and take it straight over to the sink. Any deposits, and rinse it through. Now keep doing this until the trap is fully clean. Trap refitted in reverse order. So that's the burner reinstated, tightening all 4 bolts opposite diagonally to ensure that it is fully pulled down and evenly sealed. The fan has then been replaced and the bolt tightened down, ensuring that this gas pipe connection is fully in and past the O-ring. The flue manifold has now been reinstated. To do that, you need to remove the sump cover, reinstate the flue manifold, and then tighten down the sump cover. And now we move on to the appliance sweep test and 20.9 checks. We are not going to show the rest of this service, as a gas engineer would be completely familiar with these. I'm a bit of a noob to this, so nerves took over on this one. The content will get better and I will become less nervous. There'll be plenty more to come. Thanks for bearing with us. Thanks for watching. Please give us a like.